Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 29, doing another Innistrad draft. Let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, interesting. We can't see the Florian up here. We do complain quite a bit about how most of our opponents play Florian. This is one of these dudes to where, it kind of breaks the general rule of wanting to play all of your cards post-combat. If you're wanting to come down and get these bonus cards, you often want to play it beforehand. But nonetheless, I mean that would end up being a black-red kind of card. He's strong. This is one of the better reasons to be playing black-red, but it is one of the weaker archetypes in the format. But as we look at this pack is kind of a turd. I think after Florian, the next best card is just going to be Candlegrove Witch, and that's not not a place you're really looking to be. Pick one, pack one. I do think Candlegrove Witch is better than both Ghoulish Procession and Digraph Rebirth. And so I think this is a pretty safe place to take Florian. Like, we're not going to be super upset if Black Red doesn't come together. It's not like we're passing on a big playable or something, and this could potentially pay off big if we're the only red drafter or if the only vampires drafter at the table. Okay, well, I mean, I'm fine to continue down this path. The Thermo Alchemist is fantastic in many of these aggressive strategies. We will have to look to try and pick up, some more spells than we generally would in an aggro deck. But the Thermo Alchemist is like a fantastic card in vampires, as you're trying to do this, deal damage to your opponent kind of thing. Like if we look at Florian, it's in your post-combat main phase, you look at cards where the amount of life your opponent's lost, and if you weren't able to get an attack in, then you can't use these effects. But Thermo Alchemist kind of guarantees that we can do some damage to our opponent's face if that's what we're really out here looking to do. And so, yeah, I think this will be fine. Hopefully, out of this pack, like a Stolen Vitality will table, and we're looking to be this, nice little aggressively styled deck here. Maybe we'll end up in a black-red spell-centric deck if we find another Thermo Alchemist or something. Okay, all right. Well, these have been weird packs. These packs have, in general, been pretty weak, which is I don't know. I guess that's kind of like a double-edged sword in terms of perhaps getting our opponents out of the typical Esper colors and into the cards we're trying to draft. We don't really want anyone else at the table drafting red is the big thing that we're looking for here. You're never going to get a draft where you're the only black drafter at the table, but it's not extremely unreasonable to think you might be the only red drafter at the table. But I have to stop and see what this rare does. When an enchanted player casts the spell other than their first spell each turn, or if they copy a spell, it does 2 damage to them. And so this seems pretty manageable to get around. I could see if we were playing werewolves, we might find the space for something like this in our deck. I just don't think this is going to be what we want here. An enchanted player casts a spell other than their first spell, or they cast a copy of a spell, does 2 to them. So you need if every spell they play beyond the first, it does 2 damage to them. I don't think we're going to be able to pull that off. So with these remaining cards, I am not the most familiar with drafting black red. I'm not sure which I like better, the Brimstone Vandal or the Voldaren Stinger. I'm kind of leaning towards the Stinger just to keep our curve low. I do like these Brimstone Vandals much better than the likes of something like Arrogant Outlaw, because the menace is pretty relevant. Gives us a lot of turn 3 attacks, or turn 4 attacks, I should say, to where it just can't be blocked, or it promotes bad blocks from our opponent. But I'm going to go with the earlier play here in the Voldaren Stinger. At the end of the day, I would want our spells to be pretty cheap. An interesting one here in the old Seize the Storm. We aren't really locked in to having to draft black-red. We could push ourselves over into blue-red here, just being a really spell-centric deck, and Seize the Storm is the big payoff for that. And so I'm curious here. We already have the Alchemist, the Seize the Storm, kind of 2 points of action. Is number one, if we end up in black-red, we would want to be able to take advantage of Seize the Storm, and so we need to place kind of a higher premium on removal. But then point two, the blue-red deck is reasonable. This is the big build-around card for blue-red. I can't imagine we want to take something other than Seize the Storm here. There's there are reasonable blue cards in Falcon Abomination. Nothing that really screams out, hey, jump into these other colors. This is far and away the strongest card out of this pack. Okay, alrighty. Well, the Neonate's Rush is decent here. I think I still want to stay on track with the Neonate's Rush. This does a few things. We do already have a handful of vampires, so if we end up into black-red, or even if we do end up in blue-red, this should be a little bit easier to cast. But one of the big things we'll find with Neonate's Rush is if we're able to find that the red elemental thing that that flips when you cast a spell and that gets like the counters when you deal damage. Having these points of damage can be quite good. I am, kind of interested in Startle, but I think I want to hang on to red for just a moment longer. And then the other thing we have to take note of here is there is an Eaten Alive, whereas if we end up in more of a spell-centric black-red deck, we would want the Eaten Alive. This is a tough one in the sense that Neonate's Rush is much weaker than Eaten Alive. It's also, I think, arguably weaker than Startle. We just don't know which direction our deck wants to go in here, though. It's the touch of a problem. I think I'm just going to go with the Neonate's Rush here, though. We're definitely playing red. I don't think any of these cards are like abundantly stronger than the Neonate's Rush to where I just kind of like feel bad about taking it. And then we'll kind of see how these things line up over the course of the next couple of packs. Okay, well, here there's some real decisions to be had here between either continuing on this red path with the perforator or finally just saying, "Aight, man, we're drafting black," and picking up the Stormkirk Blood Thief. I'm leaning towards the Blood Thief here. This is a fantastic unit in terms of just early game aggression. Also plays well with the Thermo Alchemist. You can kind of see these combos as to where even if we lead off with the Alchemist, we can tap it on our third turn, play the Blood Thief, and then still pick up the +1/+1 counter. I think this is the way to go. It feels a little sad that we took the Neonate's Rush over the Eaten Alive in the previous pack, but I think it's still fair. I think that's still a pretty reasonable choice. Okay, so where do we stand on this one? I'm looking at the Morkrit Behemoth here, just a reasonable top-end finisher. We tend to have some, turdy dudes we can sacrifice off in the late game. It's kind of easy to incidentally get a zombie token on the board. I think this is where we want to be. We will want to pick up some Stolen Vitalities, but I think I want to go with the top end here. All right, oh, what a gift. A pick 8 defense straight? All right. Well, I guess the black cards are open to the right here. That's bonkers. Such a good card. Okay, and then if we're going to be aggressive, I'm happy enough with Ghoulish Procession. It's pretty easy for us to come in and just get a bunch of trades in the early game. Happy to pick that one up. Okay, what's Necrosynthesis? I'm pretty sure we don't want it, but let me double check. Whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on the enchanted creature. When the enchanted creature dies, you get to do some kind of cycling, so you're not just losing an enchantment. I think I just want to lean more towards the spells since we have this Seize the Storm. I'm going to go with the Stolen Vitality here. I'm not opposed to playing an Abandon the Post, but I would rather have one Stolen Vitality before our first Abandon the Post. All right, cool. The Brimstone Vandal just tabled anyways. Looks good to me. Ooh, another Stinger. I was going to say, we really need to be focusing on our early game here. Happy to pick up a No Way Out. Good. Looks like we're in a pretty reasonable space here. These cards are coming together nicely. We do this thing where we kind of move our spells out so we can take a look at our creatures. The pile here to the left. God damn it! Still not particularly good at moving these cards around. But I was going to say the cards we're most definitely going to be playing here in this pile to the left, and then are kind of fillery ones to No Way Out. So I mean, we got 4 1s and 2s up to this point. I'd like to get that up to about 8 or so. High-powered 3-drops here in the Blood Thief and the Florian, and then we got ways to close out the game with the Behemoth and the Seize the Storm. Pretty happy with all that. So as far as this pack goes, again, I'm not like locked into black. I don't think I'm still like pretty confident we're locked into black when we're getting 8th pick defense traits, but if we opened up a big Izzet card here, I wouldn't be opposed to thinking about it, but I think we're just going to be in black-red. With that under consideration, I'm going to take the Obsessive Astronomer. I've always been pretty happy with this bro, with this lady, with this grandma, whatever this was. You will run into these games to where you just have an opponent that doesn't have a 2-drop and you get the free cycle very early on. And it also helps in those games where you keep kind of a questionable hand, you don't have a play on the third turn, and then you get to kind of like cycle away a couple of lands. There's just a lot of positive outcomes you can have with this. I'm not huge on Burn the Accursed in this format. We'll play it if it comes back around, but I definitely think the Astronomer is better than the Burn the Accursed. Okay, so interesting choices here as we switch back to the easier to see view. The Flame Channeler is the card I was talking about that works quite well with Neonate's Rush. This, when you play a spell, it flips into a 3/3. 3/3s for 2 mana are quite a good deal, and then you can take the flame counter off if you've done damage to get to draw a card. And so cards like Neonate's Rush give us a ton of value. The other thing to take note of in this pack, though, there is a Purifying Dragon. I've been like less and less excited about Purifying Dragon in this format. It seems like it should be good. It just tends to be like a little bit too slow, I think. And so I'd be okay with it. Like, I'd probably rather have Purifying Dragon than Morkut Behemoth, but I'm not feeling bad about passing this. This is certainly not a format where we're upset about it. And then it's also a format where we could potentially table this. I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these red commons come back. Like, we'd probably want the Stinger the most, but here I think it's a pretty easy Flame Channeler. Okay, so do have a choice here. Oh, the Can't Stay Aways. Can't Stay Away from Can't Stay Away today. Here it's going to be, do we want this Pax Betrayal or the Stolen Vitality? I do like the closerness, the game enderness of something like Pax Betrayal. I haven't had tons of success with it in this format, though. I think we will probably just want to come in and take this Stolen Vitality. We will be attacking a lot. We could look to play Raise the Effigy, a little bit more expensive, but I think the Stolen Vitality is the way to go, especially if we're able to come out here and pick up some Flame Festival Crashers, the unit that gets bonuses when you play spells. All right, well, this is where we're taking Burn the Accursed, so nothing else in this pack of use for us. Okay, well, Covert Cutpurse can work out reasonably well in these style of decks if we're attacking with our 2s and needing to trade up a bit, or if Ghoulish Procession makes a token and opponent value blocks it, we can do some trading up. I don't think we're really excited about the Ardent Elementalist. If we're gonna say play Burn the Accursed, sure, and leave Ghoulish Procession in the creature pile, whatever. But if we had this stack of like burn spells, like if we had a bunch of Midnight Lightning Bolts and the like, I'd be more into the Elementalist. I just don't think that's what we're doing here. I want to be a little bit more aggressive with the Cutpurse. Okay, well, this pack is pretty weak. You have the more aggressively oriented play in Immolation or the Pax Betrayal. And I want to just go Pax Betrayal. I'm really not opposed to playing this. It's a fine card. We already have no way out. We aren't super interested in playing, so let's pick up the Stinger here. Okay, the Famished Foragers are fine. This will be our first 4-drop. I always like having one of these. This does give you potential for some like big time explosive draws, and then the cycle ability's pretty decent. Not playing any of this stuff. Dread Knight is the worst of the top end that we're finding here. And with these, we should probably pick up an Immolation at this point. I'd rather have... I don't think we're ever going to play 4 Stingers. Alright, probably won't play Raise the Effigy, so I'm just going to rare draft. Okay, wow, that is a super late Flare of Faith. Hey, but not a bad start, not a bad start. Hopefully we pick up some big goodies here in pack 3. Oh boy, there's a Lisa that we most certainly cannot play. With the double white and the casting cost. A little unfortunate. Lisa is quite strong. You can watch our previous video if you need an indicator on how good Lisa can be. But with this, I think we're just taking the Baneblade Scoundrel. It's a reasonable attacker. It's tough to find decks that actually want Baneblade Scoundrel because blue-black doesn't want it, black-white doesn't want it, black-green maybe wants it, but typically not. It's like black-red is really the only place that's kind of interested in having this more bigger kind of attacker. And then the rest of this pack just sucks. We don't want Immolation or the Arrogant Outlaw, so kind of stuck with you, Scoundrel. I think you'll probably make the cut here today, but I'm not the most happy about it. Okay, then an interesting pack. I do like Croffin the Sellers. I don't think this is the world for it. We're going to have a bit of trouble activating it. at least as far as the +1/+1 counter is concerned. So it's kind of weak. I'm looking here towards the Neonate's Rush and the Ecstatic Awakener. The Awakener fits in our early game wonderfully. This is a very powerful, aggressive attacker. I'm leaning more towards just taking more Neonate's Rushes, though. We have a bunch of combos for it between the Seize the Storm and the Flame Channeler. Just damage to face if we need it. And I want to have a reasonable amount of spells for the Seize the Storm. I think we're looking pretty decent as far as creatures are concerned at this point. We've got 3 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s. So our creatures look pretty reasonable. So let's take the Neonate's Rush. Pretty sure we'll be making the cut with that one. Combos with these Covert Cusp Purses as well. If we want to just ping a unit and then take it down with the Cut Purse, it's a expensive play to pull that off, but it's certainly manageable. I think that's where we're going to be with this pack. We don't need expensive cards like the Dread Knight. Our top end is covered. Crawl the Cellar's kind of weak in this deck, so let's continue on with that combo. Okay, beautiful with the there's the Festival Crashers. I was like, beautiful. There's a Midnight Ambush, just one of the better removal spells in the format, but Festival Crashers are just so good here. These are quite the game closer as far as these decks are concerned. I think we can let the Midnight Ambush go. Our removal package isn't spectacular. We've got 1 Burn the Accursed, 1 Defense Straight for our kind of big time removals, and then the Neonate's Rush, Stolen Vitality for the cheap ones. That's probably enough. Let's go with the Festival Crasher here. Just so good with the likes of with the likes of Stolen Vitalities, giving it trample. If we're able to have a turn where we say Neonate's Rush and Stolen Vitality to give it +4 attack, like just lots of big attacks we can make out of that guy. Here, very easy Cathartic Pyre, just one of the premier removals in the format. Quite good. Where'd you go? Let me move you back out here where you belong. Here, there was only 1 red card. Yeah, this the Brimstone Vandal it is. Right, Stolen Vitality number 3. You can kind of look at Bristlebrands in this style of deck. We do have 3 First Strikers and the Voldaren Stingers, but it's still not a card I think I'm really interested in. Probably not playing Silver Bolts here either, but not playing the Arrogant Outlaw. I'm considering the 1 Pax Betrayal, but it's a maybe not. Here, I'm going to play the 1 Ghoulish Procession, I think. I don't think we'll play 2, but let's go ahead and pick it up just in case. All right, now we're getting to the dregs of it. I don't think we'll get too much the rest of the way. Raise the Effigies, again, potentially playable. We tend to be the attackers in these style of decks. Rotten Reunion may make the cut here as well. We'll have to see. We're not really hurting for cards, but that exile ability is quite good. And then we can, if we had like more if we had more Festival Crashers, I'd be much more interested in the likes of Rotten Reunion, since it's an instant you can pop off twice. But we'll see. Take out 1 Ghoulish Procession. Want to move our spells out here to the right. Some of these Stolen Vitalities are going to go way out. Neonate's Rush. Pax Betrayal. Okay. Burn the Accursed. So yeah, where do our units stand? We might be able to cut a Stinger, but let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s, 8 when we add in the Stingers. Then we're at 10, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20 creatures. So yeah, definitely going to have to drop some of these creatures out of here. But not a bad start. And I kind of want to look at these like Cut Purses being 5 drops, or we could look at it as being a 4 as we want. This is going to be expensive. We're not playing this on turn 3. This is definitely more of a later game play. Whether or not that's doing something with the Neonate's Rush or just getting in some kind of attack and shooting something down, this is definitely a slower card. Okay, I think if we're looking at it as being expensive, I'm fine to just like trade out the Foragers. It's kind of slow. Let me get our spells kind of in a better order here. Oh, did I just put Cathartic Pyre in our sideboard? This is I'm not happy with with the ease of use of this UI. I was considering how much I wanted to bitch about playing Magic Arena on mobile. Like I was really looking forward to switching to playing on mobile, and it like blows my mind how awful it is on there. Like it was there were so many aspects today. It's like I play in large part at the gym on mobile. Like I've played Hearthstone at the gym for years. I switched over to Teamfight Tactics, never had a problem. Legends of Runeterra, never had a problem. And it's like I don't know what the deal is, but you can't like I had to like pick up my phone multiple times just to get the input to respond to my fingers, and I'm just like, fucking A, come on. It's like this game. I saw the release date, putting out the YouTube videos. The release date was in 2018. Like you knew good and well in 2018. You knew good and well in 2015 that every person in your target demographic owns a device capable of playing Magic Online on it. Your game needs to be prepared for mobile. You're not going to release a game and be like, oh yeah, I want to ignore the billion cell phones out there. Let's, not pay attention to that market and try and take advantage of it. And just like the mobile response to all the things was just fucking abysmal. I was like, this is typical Wizards. Like, sorry for the rant. Like, I feel bad for the devs and stuff when I go on rants like that. I'm sure they're wonderful people and doing wonderful jobs, and comparing whatever small team exists at Wizards to the massive teams that exist at Riot or Blizzard isn't exactly fair. But oh my god, like there were so many times when I just had to like pick up my phone, like tap at it multiple times, switch to fucking using my thumb and poking at it just to try and get something to respond. It was absurd. But anywho, back to the draft. All rants aside, Cathartic Pyre is going to make it. Let me get down to our good spells here. Defense Straight's going to make it. I kind of want to play this No Way Out, but we'll have to wait and see with it. So these are the ones that are definitely making it. These are our spells that deal damage, the ones that are going to activate the likes of a Flame Channeler, and that is strong. I'm going to play at least one Stolen Vitality. It's kind of awkward that there's 3 copies here and we can't move any more over, but I think that leaves us in a good space. Also kind of really want to play this Rotten Reunion, but let's see where we're at. We need to cut 7. How many are even over here in this big spell pile? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. So we're definitely got to cut some more of these creatures out. Considering just taking out this Baneblade Scoundrel, this should be kind of more like a expensive boy down here at the 5 space. Kind of the problem with the Scoundrel is it doesn't it doesn't do much on the front side. The drain ability on the back side is kind of nice, but I like how when we're looking at our expensive bros down here, like the Behemoth has Menace, the Seize the Storm tokens have Trample. And so, like, when we were talking about in terms of Runeterra, like, we never wanted to be playing, like, Plaza Guardians or Sandstone Chimeras as our late game, like, just these big bruisery sixes that just, trade into your opponent's 1-drop. I feel very similarly to Baneblade Scoundrel. Just, I think we're going to, like, play it and attack with it, and it maybe gets in a point of damage, but our opponent, can either ignore it or just throw a token in front of it or something, and it's going to be a big mana investment for not too much payoff. I think I'm going to go ahead and move it out. Not really convincing myself that I want to be playing that card. And so what do we have going on the rest of the way? Got to recount these creatures here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I feel better with 16. So then if we need to make... we'll cut out a land as well. Probably needs to be a swamp if we're going to be playing 3 Voldaren Stingers. So we need to get rid of 5. It's like I'm really tempted to be playing Pax Betrayal here. I like the counter spells as well. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take 1 Stolen Vitality out and play 2. I think it's going to be the better combat trick opposed to Raise the Effigy. So let's take Raise the Effigy out, and then we would get to keep one of these between the Rotten Reunion, the Pax Betrayal, and the No Way Out. And I don't think we're aggressive enough to really want these Pax Betrayals. And I'm leaning towards just playing the Rotten Reunion. I like that it's cheap. We can get the zombie on board. We can attack our opponent's graveyard. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So these bros can come out. Get this sorted by mana cost again real quick. Looks like we're really heavy in the 2s, which is good. Yeah. I think this amount of curve looks good. Alrighty, yeah, I'm happy. Are you happy? I think we're all happy. Let's get to it. And so, yeah, sorry for the Magic Online related rant. I was like, I just gotten so excited for it. It was like, all right, well, I'm really wanting to just switch from playing Teamfight Tactics to playing Arena and getting a lot of my constructed grinding in then. And then it just such a horrible interface. And it's like you kind of forget how easy it is for a lot of these games to where it's like the concept of priority isn't that bad. Like it does pass back and forth in Runeterra, but there's not like a million steps, and it was just like having a man land on the board and just having to push the button over and over and over and over and over and over again. I forgot how miserable that was. It's like it's never bad. Like on Magic Online when you can just like F2 through everything. Like the F2, F4, F6, F8 combinations were all so easy, and it was just brutal having response issues with it not recognizing my finger and then having to push it through literally every single phase because I had a man land on the board. Okay, so where do we find ourselves here? We didn't draw our third land. A little unfortunate. I think we just need to get the... Well, we don't have to Flame Channeler just yet. Do we want to go for a bit of a higher value play with the Procession? I think this is fine. I don't... The Siege Zombie is a little low value to be hitting with Cathartic Pyres. Like... well, let's see. Okay. There's the land. Let's see. Let's see if we just dumpster them because they try to make a trade. Not into it. Okay. I can say if he makes this block and we get to Cathartic Pyre the Siege Zombie and then have a 3/3 on his 2/2, that would be pretty sick. I don't suspect that would happen too frequently, but it's real sweet if it did. Okay, we got this defense straight. I feel pretty good about this. I assume he wants to make a Ecstatic Awakener block, and so at least get him to sacrifice off the zombie before we play our defense straight. Oh, hang on. We should have used the Neonates Rush. That was kind of sloppy. I was expecting the that ability to not be on the stack. I forget that this has to go on the stack to flip. Right? There was a time in there when that was a 1/1, and we could have hit it with Neonates Rush. Yeah, that's kind of nasty. All right, bringing him in. This could be pretty big. I mean, if he keeps trying to be aggressive and we're able to Cathartic Pyre something down. I don't think he tries to trade our Siege Zombie into Covert Cutburst. I think he's just going to hit with Falcon Abomination here and probably play something a little bit bigger. And so, interesting. I'm going to say, so if he like comes down and drops a Digraph Horde, I would much prefer to have that defense straight back. I'm pretty sure we spent that when we didn't need to, but... missing out on the land is fairly abysmal as well. We have to go ahead and just take down the Covetous Castaway. I don't want to have him get a value block onto our cut purse. Let's go. Oh, that does one to a creature and one to face. So we can definitely face with these Neonates Rushes if we can get them down low enough. Interested in what they have here. Feels like this might be like a Revenge of the Drowned. Midnight ambush, okay. He's a little short of lethal on his next turn as well, if he wants to try and make a Covetous Castaway kind of play. Ugh. That's scary. I think we're just dead now. Yep. Okay. Stalled on the mana a little too long. This does remind me of being in Expeditions. I feel like in round 1 of Expedition we had like a 20% win rate. it seems like we lost game 1 of Expedition like every single time, and then just rattled off the 7 wins after that. Okay, let's see if we can't do a little bit better here. Not the most exciting of hands, but I don't think it's bad enough to mulligan. We drew a little bit too much utility with this Rotten Reunion in here, but we'll make the best of it, I assure you. Okay. The Blood Thief was a pretty decent draw. If we want a Cathartic Pyre, just like actual whatever they play, and then we get to make the Blood Thief plays next turn, I'm on board with that. Okay, well, we got a good board. We drew the expensive half of our deck, so I suspect we're not going to be able to play anything for a while, but let's see. Oh shit, we should have pumped that. We don't have anything else to do. Missed the 2 damage. Well, we definitely want a Rotten Reunion. If we want to like draw the land and play a Blood Thief next turn, then we need to have the zombie on board. All right, let's spread it out. Bringing in more of that Falcon Abomination aggression. Nah. It does get him a draw off the Filament Sage. Can we have her lethal next turn? Say we hit for everything on board. That would be 9. No, we're going to be short. Kind of want a Rotten Reunion anyways, though. I don't think the game is going to come down to getting the value out of exiling a card. Okay. I figured there was something coming out. I'm not real surprised to see us losing this combat. I was kind of hoping it was just going to be like a bounce spell or something, so we're at least getting a 1-for-1 trade. Oh, he's bringing all the thunder. Dang. All right, well, let's see how hard punished we get for missing out on the land again. Just gotta get him to 2, right? We're so close. Just gotta get him to 2. Oh, that's aggressive. Interesting. Wonder why he's coming in with the tokens. Just get the damage in while he can, I guess. I think we want to go with the Vandal. It seems kind of like our best shot at dealing this couple more points of damage. So let's see. I still envision this world where we're able to, like he attacks with the Amalgam and we're able to burn the Accursed something and then get in with the Vandal. It seems like a reasonable expectation. Right, if he, I don't know, plays a Digraph forward here and then attacks with the Drownyard Amalgam, if we draw land, we could win with Burn the Accursed. Oh, Dreadhound doesn't follow that pathing, but okay, you're going to cost 2. Deals damage to a creature and 1 to its controller. We're not attacking with anything this turn, so. And we can play either Flame Channeler or Astronomer. I want to add the Astronomer. I'm looking to discard this Morkut Behemoth and potentially even the Flame Channeler. So yeah, depending on how this goes, if we just don't play any cards on our turn, we can flip it back to Knight, hit with the Brimstone Vandal, and then try to burn the Accursed them out. Alright. Not a bad time for that. Doing. He wants to start bringing that Dreadhound in. I can feel it. Okay, we're getting close. If we can't do it with Burn the Accursed, then maybe we can do it with these Neonates rushes. So you can only play 1 card this turn, or we're threatened to kill him with the Vandal. It's tough. We want to play the rush so that we can draw a card, but if we draw one of our like 2-drops next turn, then we could also get a kill that way. It says we're at 48% chance to draw land. Whereas a 1 or a 2 cost spell, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we've got 10 land, or we've got 5 of the 2-drops. So I think we should be going for the land here. Still seems like relatively unsafe attacks for him. I mean, I could see him wanting to come in with the Falcon Abomination. Hanging out at 2 and just passing over and over again can't feel good. So, see what they decide. Yep. Oops. Uh-oh, we done got oopsed. Okay. Makes me feel safer. That's not a land. Oh, okay. He played 2 cards in the same turn anyways. I was really excited to see us just draw like 2/2 drops. Well, I guess we'd only draw 1, right? Because we could still would have been on our way to win the game if we drew 2. But, oh, man. Oof. Okay. I was worried he was going to come back in that one. That was a bit of a struggle. We got kind of all in there and didn't really draw out of it quickly. Okay. What you got for us? What do we got? These starts with Morkrab, Behemoth, Rotten Reunion are really shitty. there's no 2 ways around that. We're on the draw. Can't really convince myself to keep these. We got to get rid of a hand like this. This is infinitely worse, and we can't just go to 5. We can get rid of Rotten Reunion, I guess. Oh boy. Let's see how interactive this game is. I mean, if he's on Disturb, it may not be that bad if we're able to kill some of his dudes with these Neonates rushes, but I mean, this is not a draw anyone is ever happy about. When you're playing your aggro deck and you're like, oh, I'm not going to play a unit until like the 4th turn. You're not happy with that. You need to draw something here. Didn't. I didn't think our creature count was that bad. We're playing like 16, right? I was pretty sure we're playing 16. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see if we can't draw something. You gotta get something happening. Good. Good, good. Perfect. Could not have asked for more perfect draws. Another combat trick in a mountain. Just what we were looking for. I mean, it seems like opponent's not really doing anything. I just have to imagine if the average cost of our deck is like, 2.7, the average cost of their deck is probably like 3.5, and they just have more opportunities to spend more mana. You could flip the switch for our first play. Sure. I was envisioning the sweet plays we could make with all of these stolen vitalities and the festival crashers, but that's not going to be a thing. Nice. This was a pretty fun game of Magic the Gathering. Jesus. Yeah. That's what you signed up for, I guess. Okay, let's take down the bereaved survivor. We just have to. I mean, I can assure you the way that this game is gone, he's just going to come in and flip the Delver immediately, but the survivor needs to go out of here. We don't even get to draw the card anymore. So brutal. Yep. Is that a Geist Wave? All right, this game's done. Well, that was fun. These are the games when it's like, yeah, let me tell my friends how fun Magic is. Oh, that was just dumb. All right, on to the next one. Cleanse our palate of that one, hopefully. Have a reasonable mix of units and spells and can actually play the game. Alright, well, this is going to be as good as it gets. Be nice. If we had the Voldaren Stinger, you can really see where the power in these kind of the Neonates rushes can be. But not what we have today. You can take that down. Not opposed to the idea. But let's stay on curve. We can look to try and make that play next turn. The attack's free. I think you always want to make that attack. There's a world where they don't actually block. Okay. Alright, so now we got the cheap Neonates rushes, so if we draw another land, we can make this Neonates rush covert cut purse kind of play. Alright, we'll discard our flashback cards. It's tempting to try and hit the land with this, but it's so bad if we miss out on the opportunities for value, so I'm gonna hold off on that. Land next turn is so good, though. If we get to burn the Accursed, whatever their play is. Not gonna do that. We'll just attack with the embodiment. Okay. These beloved beggars are getting fairly close to just popping off. It's a little scary. I think we're okay. We're good to just attack with everything here. If he wants to get a double block onto our Embodiment of Flame, then we can get the good get the good burn the Accursed here. If he just wants to put the Party Captain in front of the Blood Thief, we can get a good one that way as well. But we're gonna burn the Accursed, the Novice Occultist, so that he doesn't get the card draw out of this. That was enough. We won a game of Magic the Gathering. Oh man, I forgot what it feels like. I guess we've gotten two, so we should remember what it feels like from fairly recently, but dang. So much easier to get salty in this game. I just felt like playing Runeterra, these just the games where you're completely out of it were so much like few and far between. Guess the the highest in the highs and the lowest of lows come from Magic the Gathering. It's just very, very medium feels from the lands of Runeterra. I'm thinking of just cutting this Rotten Reunion for the burn or the discard spell. Not liking this as much as I thought I was going to like it here. But with a hand like this, I think we're stuck keeping it. If we draw a mountain early, it's fantastic. If we don't get to play anything until the third turn, it's less fantastic, but still serviceable, I think. Probably not too many worlds where he doesn't have a play next turn, but if that's what happens, I would like to get to use this cycle ability. Like if his play here was like, well, I'm going to flip the switch, then we get to use the cycle. Beautiful. And so I definitely want to discard Voldaren Stinger, and then I think we want to discard a Swamp just to improve our card quality. Then the idea with this turn is we're still just going to attack into the Larder Zombie, and then we're going to try and hit it with the Cut Purse. There's not too many ways. Like, you can play Blade Brand to win the combat, but that's not going to be too common. So this is fine. This is most certainly a flip the switch play. But it's okay enough to have the Cut Purse get flipped. We can play it later with the Disturb. This isn't a super high value unit that we're trying to kill. Like, this is what's coming. He's got to flip the switch, but this is fine. Success. Did not expect that. Interesting. Usually just go for the kill with that thing. Makes a 3/3. I think we're just stuck attacking into it. Like, what else? What else are we gonna do this turn? We could make our own Blood Thief. Otherwise, we're just playing like Brimstone Vandal. That doesn't seem good. I guess with this attack, we can play both Blood Thief and Stinger. Combat Trick be so sick here, though. Oh, this thing really only targets vampires? It took me a long time to notice that was the way that thing worked. I think we're good with our hand. We could look to discard the Brimstone Vandal, but I think I'm happy with having just the 3 cards in hand. I mean, removal would be good. One more land would be okay. But I think this is fine. We really would like to pick up a combat trick, so maybe we should have. Discard the Vandal, see what happens. Couple of land. He's gonna get the good block on our Blood Thief. I think he's kind of done with our shenanigans here. I don't think we're getting away with 2 turns of no blocks. Pretty sure he has missed a land drop, though. He was on the play this game. Just highlighting Voldaren Stinger? Interesting. You're welcome to block. There you go. Combat Trick would be so good here. Alright, well, let's start with Florian. We can still pick up like a Cathartic Pyre and take this Blood Thief down. And then, if not, follow up with Flame Channeler. Oh, we did it. We didn't play him first. Shit. No card draws for us. I knew it. As much trash as I've talked about all of our opponents not taking down Florian, we came out here and did it ourselves. Typical. I think seems like something's going to get hit with Revenge of the Drowned. Like, seems like they have a spell. Blade Brand, okay. Interesting. Okay, Seize the Storm. Do we even have any? We have any spells? This is just going to be a 1/1. Nothing in our graveyard. Yeah, I can come out here and make some 1/1s. Look out. Appears as though they missed the land they were digging for. Send it back to nighttime for us. They don't have any plays. Get to discard the Seize the Storm. You got it, boss. This is the game where we need the... Oh, Jesus. Where we need the Threaten. Whatever it's called. Pax Betrayal. Making 2 4/4s. Yeah, that's a struggle for us. That is certainly a struggle. Gotta cycle these two out. Alright, Defense Straight's promising. Opponent drew their land. Okay. I don't know about this one anymore, team. Don't know about this one. Stolen Vitality is exactly what we need. At least get to win one of these combats. Doing them mathematics, seeing how much damage he's going to take. All right. I mean, I'd say most assuredly has a block on Florian and then probably has another block on Flame Channel. I mean, I would just be inclined to block my 2 best units. It's a very big, like, spewy bluff spot from the Vampires' perspective here. Well, I should say from the Black-Red perspective. We just have the 1 card. We're quickly falling behind on board. It seems very spewy. Block the Cut Purse. I'd love to see you block the Cut Purse. Okay, so this is happening. And then do we want to just punch the damage? We're getting in for 2 from Florian, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we take it up to 9, that takes him to 2 to where we can get a kill with Burn the Accursed, but we can't play any follow-up cards from whatever we draw with Florian. I think I kind of want to draw the follow-up cards. What could we end up playing? We have a lot of good plays out of this. Even if it's just a Brimstone Vandal, I think I'm happy with it. What if we hit like a Cathartic Pyre and we get to take down his flyer? That's pretty good. But Burn the Accursed is like the only play where that dude seems better. I'm looking to pick up Rotten Reunion here to get the 2 zombies on board. Have to play it this turn? Okay. So yeah, the Rotten Reunion it is. Okay. I wanted to take the Larder zombie out of his graveyard, so if he has the 1 mana Raise Dead, then he just is stuck with the Stromkirk Blood Thief. I play the exiled card this turn. It's good to stop and read these on occasion. I thought you just got to play it forever. Shade Traveler, okay. Definitely want to take the blocker down pre-combat. I don't know about you all, but I did watch the Twilight series here recently. I'd seen it before, or I'd already seen some portion of it, and then it popped up on Netflix, and the wife hadn't seen it yet, so I was like, oh, sure, we'll watch it. It's not that bad, you know. I know the Twilight series catches a lot of shit. I'm gonna go ahead and put myself out there and say it. The Twilight series isn't that bad. At least as much as you want to sit around and watch a high school teen romance, I think the vampire stuff in it was pretty reasonable. I don't really care about vampire lore, that neck of the woods. I wasn't butthurt about any of that, but watching teen drama is kind of shitty though. It's not really my style. But no, you heard it here first. Twilight, not that bad. I missed the one where they I went to bed. I go to sleep early because I'm fucking old. But the one where they go to Italy or some shit and talk to the big time vampires. I missed out on that part. I don't feel like that was really important to the plot, but it seems like it was a big plot point that they just kind of glossed over in the future movies. At any rate, what do we got going on here? This hand sucks. I mean, if we could risk it, I mean, we're on the draw. If we draw a mountain, then it stops sucking. We have a lot of high-powered cards in our hand here. Not high-powered for the Flame Channeler, though. And then if we don't have a 2, then Florian's just kind of, Florian is good, even if he's just 3/3 in it. Ugh. We are playing the additional mountains, right, though? We got 9 mountains in here. Okay. I convinced myself. It's not a mountain. Need it now. What do we got? 9 out of 32. It's a little better than 1 and 4. That's not a mountain. Alright. Come on, we got to get some good karma our way. We just talked up the Twilight series, playing the vampires. We gotta, we deserve it. Ah, fuck. That's not good. I guess we gotta hit the Hound Tamer. We don't have to hit the Hound Tamer. Hang on, he missed his land. Did he? No, he missed his land. Okay. So we'll take out his ramp unit. And mountain. All right, we drew it. It's tough for us to play any cards here, but it's Florian. He's intimidating on this board. Really excited about trying to Neonates Rush this Unblinking Observer as well. Like, as much as we play this deck and as much as we love Shadow Beast sightings, I have to imagine it's what that deck's capable of. Alright, YOLO. Stolen Vitality it is. So this gets us out of the +2/+2 cards, also gets us out of a startle. Got him. Nice. I guess they didn't have a Shadow Beast sighting in hand. I don't think I would have given up at that point if I was just 1 mana away from the Shadow Beast. Cool. Always feels good to win a game. As we trudge on through Diamond, we're making progress. Making progress. This hand, I saw the cards light up. It's got Burn the Accursed, Seize the Storm. We're going to have to mulligan this, I think. It's got an Obsessive Astronomer in it as well, so maybe we can live with it on our play. I mean, if we look at like the left 5 cards of our hand, it looks pretty decent. It's just the right 2 that we don't want. Probably realistically, we need to. I wanted to kind of take the Rotten Reunion out. I'm not sure on that. I'm pretty sure we got to take the Seize the Storm out though. I'm gonna keep this one, and then maybe we'll do a little deck editing after this game. Dang. Teach us how to aggro, my man. Teaching us. This kind of sucks. We just kind of look at ourselves as being on the draw now. Okay, can't block any of this. Oh, okay. I guess he's tapped out. Okay, so he's going to get his engine going. We don't have an answer to this Opportunist, which kind of sucks. Have to imagine there's a... Wow. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, I just got to stop saying stuff. It's like I have to imagine he's just going to be able to like attack with the Ecstatic Awakener, but okay. I'm fine enough to play this slow. Like if we can find another land and then pull off this cut purse and Neonates Rush play onto the Opportunist, I feel pretty good about that. We still get a reasonable attack here. Especially if he spends all of his mana to flip this Ecstatic Awakener. Oh, it wouldn't have been that spectacular. We're much better at blocking. I forget that the Stolen Vitality gives it the trample on the attack. This is okay. Can you press F2 and push past these? Is there a hotkey to not have to push the next button? I have to look that up. Pass. Press enter? I don't want to press enter. I want to press F2. Can you really not change your hotkeys in this game? Oh my god. What a big ask. I would like to change my hotkeys. F you. Wow. Okay. So let's see. This kind of sucks if we get 2 for 1. As you can imagine, there's not a strange world where this is a Flare of Faith, but if he doesn't have it, it feels like we're going to be super far ahead. All right, we'll try pressing enter. Oh, we're tapped out, so it doesn't matter now. We'll see. We'll give it a shot eventually. So how do we feel about this? I need to draw land, but it's like I think we just have to answer this Morbid Opportunist. I don't feel really good about discarding any of this. Okay, so we drew that. Oh no, this costs 6 mana. Shit. Okay. Behemoth it is. Oh my god, he gets to draw cards off of our cards. They're so far behind when he's like, what up, here's defense straight. Right? He's drawn so many cards off this Opportunist. It's so much mana to answer this thing. Counting up all his mana and stuff. This Behemoth is going to get aced. Yep. That is bad. This game's just done. there's no way we're getting around this Opportunist. We'll give it a couple draws, but he's ahead on board with 5 cards in hand. Like, not coming back from this. There's that, I guess. Can't pop this. Like, his idea this turn is he wants to Cathar Commando our Ghoulish Procession and draw the card off the Morbid Opportunist. He doesn't have to do that now, given that we just... And this game's done. Let's be real. That's gonna do the trial. But where did we get? Did we get to 4 wins on this one, or did we get stuck at 3? It feels like 4 as to where we've been getting here in Diamond, which is much better than at the end of the first week. We were really like last month when we got the Diamond, I got hard stuck in here, but now this month been. Feels like the 4-win mark is where we've been hitting frequently, and I feel like a lot of these games we've been playing well. I don't know if we've just been low rolling really hard or just being like too not mulliganing well. It feels like a lot of these games were just not in it from the start, so kind of odd to tell. But nonetheless, let's get this deck pulled up and talked about a little bit more. We definitely had some deck building problems there, so it's not like this is 100% on luck. We certainly have some room to improve. So I'll get the deck list pulled up. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, the thing that I was really looking to be building around was Seize the Storm, and that didn't really come together here. I was very happy with how the early piece of this draft went, where we had the Thermo Alchemist that we never drew we never drew across 7 games, and then the Seize the Storm. It leaves you really open to drafting blue-red. I'd heard kind of rumblings of people successfully using Seize the Storm in green-red and in black-red, and I just don't think we were quite in the deck here. The time that we've had use of it in green, we were just playing the blue-green ramp deck, and then we just splashed the Seize the Storm pretty easily with Root Coil Creepers. But as far as this deck goes, I think realistically, I was happy with the entirety of the deck except the Seize the Storm, and then I was really not even that happy with Morcut Behemoth. I think I would have felt better if the extent of our top end was just like these covert cut purses, and with these I wasn't even real happy with this. But nonetheless, I liked a lot of the ideas that we had pieced together here between having the cards that play well with the spell's theme. So I mean, this could have looked a lot differently if we'd been able to say pick up like 2 Festival Crashers or even 3 Festival Crashers, and we're able to just take big advantages out of like Stolen Vitalities, and then we're getting these kind of cyclical interactions between Festival Crasher and Thermo Alchemist and the Seize the Storm. Just that piece of the deck didn't really come together. We were really just kind of playing black-red aggro and not using the rest of these things to their fullest extent. And so it didn't. I think we didn't like push too hard into being a spells based deck, but outside of that, I do think this came together okay. I was pretty happy with the Neonate's rushes. It's very weird that we didn't have any Falcon Wrath Vampire, the 2-drop that deals damage when you attack, because I thought we should have more easily had these Neonate's rushes activated for 2 mana. But, back to like the spell-centric theme, the Neonate's Rush plays fantastically with the likes of Festival Crasher, plays fantastically with Thermo Alchemist. I thought we were really going to get more of these combos going, and it was just like the cards never really came together. And so I'm not exactly sure if that was like a deck building problem or just a low roll with this deck, but I liked that we had these things that we could do with the rushes if it means activating something for the cut purse or activating the festival crashers or whatnot. It seemed like it should have been good. But I think the things that I would say didn't go right with this deck. These expensive cards were too expensive. Like Burn the Accursed was fine. We didn't want Seize the Storm. Morkrit Behemoth, I thought was going to be a reasonable closer, but they, just never consistently had 5 mana to ever be able to play it. And so I was really not happy with him either. I don't feel like I would have been any happier with any of our 4/4s. Like maybe the Vampire that gives you 3 mana back would have been okay. But I didn't feel like I wanted that black werewolf we had that gives your opponent's units negative attack. And so I just didn't like any of the top end. That was all turdy. The Ghoulish Procession was okay, but not that great. Rotten Reunion, I like in a lot of decks. I think you have to have like the time to pop this onto the flashback cards. And so it was okay here. It was fine the times we played it. It was nice to have a way to give us zombies to sacrifice to the Morkrit Behemoth, but that could have gone as well. I would have rather just had aggressive units as opposed to the Rotten Reunion and the Ghoulish Procession, and so I think those were kind of mistakes as well. We could pick up the sideboard. I did keep meaning to go in and sideboard in the No Way Out and just didn't have the opportunities to do it. Well, fuck, we had the opportunities. You had the opportunity to do it after every game. I just get to talking and forgetting about stuff. But I think at the end of the day, did we have any other cheaper plays? I don't think we had too many. No, it doesn't look like it. But I think that we should have taken out Seize the Storm, taken out the Behemoth. We should have been playing, I think, the Famished Foragers, and then just something else a little bit cheaper. Even just the third Stolen Vitality could have been okay. I would have been happy with a Pax Betrayal. Just felt like our deck wasn't running on all cylinders there. It was just something not right with it. But nonetheless, if we push over to the draft, I think this draft went fine. I mean, again, Florian seems powerful enough to take. 3/3 first strike for 3 is a fantastic deal. If it draws you a card, that's a super fantastic deal. I think it's okay to take the Florian over Candlegrove Witch. I think Candlegrove Witch is the only argument of a card amongst all of these. And then you can kind of hope, maybe I'll will this Falconwrath Perforator. It's not super unlikely that red is too closed out. So that would have been nice. But the Florian, I think, was an easy take. Pack 2 is when you're able to be like, well, let's see how good the vampire-ish cards kind of look. And Thermo Alchemist looks fantastic. He plays superbly in the Vampire's deck. I wish we could have drawn this today. I would have loved to have shown you how great Thermo Alchemist is. Just super easy for this thing to get in like 5 or 6 or 7 damage across the course of a game. Your opponent typically doesn't want to be playing removal on it because it doesn't, really affect the board. And then as we're playing like our multitude of burn spells, getting in these extra chunks of damage, super good. And so that was a pretty big low roll for us today, not hitting the Alchemist at any point. We're still looking pretty decent as far as red goes. We could potentially wheel Abandon the Poster Cell and Vitality, and then we're not pissing on any good Esper cards here. The Blessing is fine, but we're far away from being in blue-green. Cathar Commando would have been reasonable if we took the Candlegrove Witch first, but none of these words I'm saying make me feel like that would have been better than taking Florian Thermo Alchemist. I was very happy with how this started out. And this is the problem you run into drafting black red though. Is the cards are fairly weak. Taking a third pick Voldaren Stinger never feels good. This could have been a world where we're looking towards like Geistwave Hobbling Zombie. If we'd taken the white cards, Flare Faith would have felt quite good here, but that was a weird one. And here, very happy with Seeds of Storm. Again, Seize the Storm, Thermo Alchemist, and a blue-red deck are incredibly powerful. I thought this was going to be a little bit better in black-red. I thought we were going to be a little more spell-centric. Not quite the way that played out, but very happy with Seize the Storm. This was the real pick. This was kind of the big, I thought, deciding point in the draft as to far do we take Eaten Alive or Neonate's Rush. And I was actually really happy with this Neonate's Rush. There weren't too many times where I was actually wanting the Eaten Alive type effect, and then we didn't have anything to really sacrifice to it either. And so, in hindsight, I feel like this pick turned out quite well. I think the real decision here is, do we take Startle? Startle plays fantastically in blue-red as you load up on Festival Crashers. It's quite good. Works, great with the Thermo Alchemist, and that you're playing the trick and cycling and getting more fuel for the blue-red themes. I think this is where I'm feeling kind of bad. I feel like maybe we should have just taken the Startle here instead of the Neonate's Rush. But I mean, it is also kind of tough to just like jump into blue-red when you A, don't have any removal spells, and B, don't have any Organ Hoarders. And so I can see kind of staying on theme with the Neonate's Rush, but this is probably the point to where you need to kind of be like, well, maybe blue-red is the world that we're in. But here, happy with the Blood Thief. No blue cards, so we felt kind of good about passing on the Startle. And so then it's like, where would we be here? We would have had like 2 Startles as opposed to having this Blood Thief and the Neonate's Rush. It's a okay-ish looking collection of blue-red cards, but again, it's not super powerful. I was unhappy with this Morkrit Behemoth. I still think it's the pick. I mean, maybe the pick should have just been Bat Whisperer. I didn't expect the Behemoth to be as bad as it was today, but I'm happy enough without it being Immolation or Stolen Vitality. All right, Defense Straight felt like a win. This is where it really felt like, well, black is open for getting Defense Straights this late. And so that kind of just locked us in from that point, I think. Stolen Vitality late. Not seeing any black cards we really want. Voldaren Stingers and Brimstone Vandals late. That all looks pretty good to me. I do think that black-red was the place to be. We talked about Obsessive Astronomer extensively. One of the premier 2-drops in the format. Absolutely love it. Still stand by the Flame Channeler over Purifying Dragon. So that one was good. Stolen Vitality at pick 3 is the problem with playing black-red, as we see real premier cards like the Dualcraft Trainer and Odric's Outrider running around. We're just taking generic combat tricks. And this pack was not good to us. Burn the Accursed at 4. Covert Cut Purse wasn't that great here at 5, but we didn't have any other options. And the Pax Betrayals, maybe I feel like we probably should just play a Pax Betrayal today. But yeah, pretty straightforward. I think once we navigated that pack 1 and realized we were definitely locked into black-red, that's just kind of where we landed and where we ended up. Not too many. I don't think there were any other picks we really missed on. This is just a complete whiff in this pack. Nothing we want. Moving into pack 2, just getting a Neonate's Rush. Yeah, it's like I think for these decks to look premier, we need to be hitting like the lightning bolts. So didn't see a single one. But yeah, I think that's that's not it for us today. We do have the rewards to click on. I've been bad about the rewards. My bad. I know people like watching me scratch off the lottery tickets here, so I can't skip over it. One pack, be a good one, my man. What you got for us? Sarenth, the Viper Fang. So there we go. That's gonna do it for us today. Hope you all enjoyed the trial. Maybe learned how to play the vampires a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.